Trigger warning, y'all. I feel like I gotta lead with this because otherwise I'm gonna lose a lot of you here quick. So, I have this theory, this belief, no, hear me out, that Stasis should be left the hell alone. Stop calling for nerfs. Don't change it. Hell, buff it. I don't care. Just stop. And I want to explain why I feel this way. I want to talk about where it currently stands in just the state of the game with Destiny, with PvP and PvE, with things like Stasis existing. So, let's go ahead and dive into it. What's going on, guys? My name is Pwn. I'm a full-time streamer. If you want to swing by a stream, get some raids and some games in, the link's down below, but twitch.tv/I'mPwnstar. And we got you covered. So, basically, and I know I got you hooked. You're like, wait. What? Did you say buff and Stasis in the same sentence, Pwn? I did. And the reason for this, I have no other simple way to explain it beyond the fact that when people ask for nerfs for Stasis, is that it affects Destiny overall, because they don't balance this game separately. There's two sides to Destiny. There is the PvP side and the PvE side, and many times things can coexist and work well in both. Other times they do not, and realistically they're never balanced for the other. And something as, I guess, important as like an entirely new subclass being implemented and the darkness, they can't just like not do it, right? They've got to tweak it in some capacity. Now, my argument is that we need to stop asking for a nerf and just disable it from PvP altogether. And I know that seems rough. I'm like, wait, I paid money for this? You're telling me that I shouldn't even be able to enjoy this in half the game? Yes, it's not healthy for the game. The Crucible side of things is dying. It needs to go, right? I'm not asking for a nerf. I'm asking for a complete, absolute removal. Get somebody in there, take it out. Do the right thing. Now, why I say this, Stasis is ice, okay? Now, everybody calling for nerfs for Stasis is basically asking ice to not be ice. It's slippery, okay? It's cold, it freezes. Yeah. Where else are they gonna go with ice? Like, makes it shatter? I mean, that's already a problem. So, at the end of the day, when you're asking ice to not be ice, let's not make it slow, let's not make it slippery, let's not make it shatter, let's not make it cold. I mean, you can't ask something like that out of it, right? That's exactly what it is. So, I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, keep tweaking it, make sure that it's doable and you know, tolerable in Crucible. Because by the time they do that, seeing as how they balance this game all together, it's going to be completely ass inside of PvE. Right now, it's cool. It's got crowd control elements. It's very viable. It helps with some GMs. It's a nice thing to have. It's a very strong subclass in PvE. And if we keep getting it to the point where it's tolerable or even solid in PvP, it's going to be unrecognizable in PvE. It's not going to be viable at all because you would have weakened everything that makes it great, which is its crowd control. Now, why this doesn't work in Crucible, to me, is a pretty obvious thing. There's no counter to it. Every game has to have some sort of a counter or an experience. You know, this isn't Overwatch or Paladins. This isn't an actual hero shooter where there's, you know, builds and healers and tanks and there's counter to things and there's cooldowns and reductions. There's things like that. That's not what Destiny is. Crowd control has no place in the Crucible. None. I will fucking die on this. None. Leave it the hell alone. Chill out. Yeah, Punstar. So, just hear me out. Remove it from Crucible. Keep it as is in PvE. Maybe even buff it. And I know it's, you know, like reducing it and restricting it to one half the game is kind of a pain in the ass. But there's no way in hell this ends well for Crucible or Destiny or the player base if it remains inside of Crucible. It's simply crippling it on its own. It already has its own flaws with Fellwinners and other things, and they're never going to get to the ultimate side of balance without it. And I don't know what Destiny is anymore. It's not a tactical or serious shooter like Halo, which it could be if it just removed shotgun snipers and, you know, supers from the playlist. But again, that's the gimmick. That's what makes Destiny Destiny. It's chaotic. It's fun. But I can get into that in an entirely different video if you would like. I talk about exactly what I think can make Crucible great again. And, you know, that's for another time. But as it stands, ice, freezing, none of this has a place in Crucible. I mean, because the maneuverability, the pacing inside of Crucible, you know, from getting A to B, the distance closing, all of that. The game is so fast that something like movement being obstructed, slowed, or even frozen and rooted in place is a guaranteed death. it's just so easy. And then you got all the aim assist. Even slowing is a very dangerous thing. And adding this in is, I don't know how it got out the door. And I think they balanced it, made it for PvE, and was like, this is dope. And then said, fuck Crucible players. I don't care what they got to deal with. And it's part of the game, you know? But at the end of the day, I think the healthiest call is actually removing it and disabling it for PvP. In general, just get rid of it. And just let it be chaotic. Let it have fun. Let it roll. And get rid of the icy shit. Get rid of crowd control. Never bring it back. And but at the end of the day, leave it how it is. Keep it strong. Make it great for PvE. Buff it for PvE. Let crowd control roll. Because that adds so much more interesting elements to the game beyond just trying to min-max your gear. Now you got to work how to crowd control. I think it was a great addition to PvE. And I think they can roll with it and they can make something awesome out of it. But if they keep trying to balance it for PvP, they're going to ruin it for PvE. And I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with it. Because either way, you got to pick one of the sides. And there's already so many great options for PvP. Let's not give this one to PvP. Let's let this one stay with the PvE side of things. And that's just my take. So if you guys agree, just let me know down in the comment section below. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I got more coming at you here in the near future. Subscribe, stay tuned, tick that notification bell so you don't miss when it hits your sub box. And I will catch you with a live stream tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for choosing this video.